Alright, you guys, I'm just gonna chill here, Dan the bodybuilder from Thailand, and I'm gonna drink this Starbucks coffee and I'm gonna talk to you about solo travel because that's my life. That's like my life passion. So I'm just gonna like relax and talk to you about what I love. A lot of people, you guys, I get a lot of messages from people talking to me about wanting to travel. It's kind of trendy. Traveling. It's kind of trendy, you know? And it's actually something that I've noticed that people respond to really well when I tell them about, what I've been spending my life doing for the past 4 or 5 years. They're really interested in, a lot of times it'll even be people who will have high status. They'll almost think, I wish I was doing that too. So it's really interesting having that experience, talking to people, getting to know people, going on dates with girls, getting to know other guys, getting to know people who have high positions in the corporate world, and telling them about my lifestyle and seeing what their reaction is. Because I've been living in Asia and South America for the past 4 years, and then I had a massive infection in my thigh from injecting a dirty hormone into my thigh, which is this scar now is the result of that, because the vial had flesh-eating bacteria in it. So that was a major mistake, using underground lab hormone products, and almost lost my leg in Colombia because of that. And now I've been back here in America since basically the new year, 2019. And I'm kind of like reloading or giving myself a time out from my travels, just because it's like, it's irresponsible to be like that close to death and then be like right back out again. Like it's been 6 months since that happened. So I'm actually just starting to feel like, more like that can be a possibility now again, to leave my homeland, America, right? Pretty much before just recently, I felt like it's been too soon. I was living in East Los Angeles for at least half the time since I've been back in America. I lived in Thailand starting in 2015, and then the Philippines, Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, South America, etc. But Thailand's the best so far, I'd say. But I really like the Philippines too. And South America is the most dangerous. I would say that solo traveling in South America is the most dangerous out of any of the places that I've been. Generally though, a lot of people are asking, they want to travel, but this is the conundrum, is they want someone to go with them. And man, that's a big conundrum, because that's like a big commitment when you say to someone, let's leave the country. That's like a big financial commitment. It's a big life commitment and everything. So this is a major stifling factor for people who want to travel, people who want to go explore the world. I think a lot of people do, but I think there's a big bottleneck because a lot of people, it's scary to go out into the unknown without having someone by your side. So yeah, it's like most people are thinking, I've heard of tons of people too say, I want to go to Thailand, and I get messages on email, YouTube, Instagram every day about guys asking like, can you be my mentor, and asking questions about living in Thailand, moving to Thailand, and things like that, and wanting to travel, or saying like, I want to go, man, like I want to go so bad, but I just can't find someone to go with me. And like, the kind of vibe that I actually get from the guys that talk to me like that is actually like a sort of vibe of like not taking responsibility for their own lives. Because that's one thing that's like really important to me, and really fuels, my lifestyle and what I do, is I really truly believe that the only person that can live or make me live the lifestyle that I want is me. Like pretty much, like not even pretty much, it's just an absolute fact that if I don't go out and do what I want to do and make use of the time that I have being alive doing what I want to do, then it's not going to happen. Okay, and the only way that I'm going to feel satisfied with my life is if I do the things that I want to do. I'm not born like thinking like, oh, I'm bored and like I don't have anything to do. No, there's a ton of freaking things I want to do. There is a ton. And so I gotta like make sure that I'm using my time to do those things, or else like I'm gonna be like old and not able to anymore. So those are kind of some of the things that influence me to behave the way that I do and live the lifestyle that I do. And then with other people, when they say, like, I've been trying to go for years, man. I've been trying to get to Thailand, but I just gotta find someone to go with me, or I haven't been able to find someone to go with me. As soon as I do, as soon as I get someone who's down with it, I'm gonna go. And it's like, man, why would you live that way? Cause like I understand why. Okay, I understand why, because it's scary and the unknown, and a lot of people have really hard times like making decisions, and a lot of times people also like, we're pack animals. Like we like to be with the group, but since I was homeschooled when I grew up, and I had to like insert myself into a group of friends when I entered public school in 3rd grade, and that was pretty difficult. And then we moved when I was in 7th grade, and then we moved again when I was in 10th grade. So I moved a lot, and I had these experiences like in my young formative years, going to new places with people I didn't know, and having to like start a life there, and with people who already had social circles and stuff, and like, moving to a new place and then like making my life at that new place, right? Because that's what would happen every time that we moved or whatever, or when I went from homeschool to public school. And that I think that kind of set me up a little bit. That probably predisposed me for solo travel a bit. Got me ready. It was preparatory activity. But these guys that want to do travel, and there's this thing called solo travel, and I've heard it's like popular right now. I see some girls saying like, oh, my first solo travel or something. It's usually girls, but I know that there's a lot of guys who would like to do solo travel. Maybe it's just because they're not as independent as women these days. Maybe that's the reason why it's mostly girls, because the guys aren't independent anymore. But yeah, like if you want to do that, you got to do it. Like if you want to travel, if you want to go live in another country or whatever, you got to do it. You can't be like waiting for other people to like jump on board with you, or just in general with your life. I think if you want things, you got to go do them. You got to not wait for other people to jump on board with you. So for me, when I moved to Thailand, I knew no one. I had Kratom Happy, and so I was making money. But later, I became like a very like low level celebrity in Thailand. Like once I was there, so like if I walked around on the streets in Thailand, even right now, like someone would recognize me. Like if I was outside for 1 hour, that someone would recognize me and be like, hey, Dan the bodybuilder from Thailand. If I was just like walking on the sidewalks or something like that, or like going into stores. So that, why the hell was I saying that just now? Because I didn't have friends when I first went there. So I went in totally blind, When I first left and went to Thailand, no one was with me. I was by myself. I knew no one. I had some girls I had been chatting up online. So that when I was there were some Thai girls. There was a Thai girl there to pick me up at the airport that I'd been chatting online, and there was some other Thai girls that I dated, because at that time in my life, quantity was important to me. It's not so much important to me anymore. It's not at all something that's important to me going forward from this time, but it was something that was, it was important to experience and it was important to do. So I'm a little bit older now, guys. It's been quite a few years since I first moved to Thailand. I'm in California right now, by the way, recovering from my leg injury. Yeah, so the solo travel, I got there, and it was easier once I had Bodybuilder in Thailand up and going, but I didn't start Bodybuilder in Thailand until I got to Thailand, and I started it to be like a side business or a side project from KratomHappy.com to make a little bit of extra side money. And then when KratomHappy.com went down because the laws in America changed about selling Kratom, then I had like an apocalyptic situation because my business went down, and that was when I made the decision to go full on Bodybuilder in Thailand. And luckily I had also been creating some other income streams at the time, and then also because of that I created a bunch of other income streams too, because I realized you cannot depend on one online income stream like at all. So I diversified, right, where money was coming in from. But the thing is that once Bodybuilder in Thailand was like picking up steam and getting more popular, then it became a lot more easy to make friends, because everywhere I go in the world now, there's always people that reach out to me when they find out where I am. There's people that watch all over the world, and so basically like a lot of my friends come from guys during my travels who reach out to me, like they're locals in the places that I travel to. Like in every city that I went to in Thailand, my friends, my best friends that are still my friends, my best friends in those places today, are guys who were locals. A lot of them would be like local Thai or local half Thai or a local white guy who was living there, with his Thai girlfriend or his Thai wife, or a white guy who was traveling to live there for a while or something, or to do like a 6-month vacation or something, who would reach out to me. That's, for example, how I made friends with Elon. When I was with Tony, that's how we made friends with Vigorous Steve. Because he came out when we were doing that in Phuket, he came out to visit. And then, like, a lot of guys, right? A lot of guys. Remember Bruno, the guy that lost 100 pounds of fat last year? There's a recent YouTube video on my channel of him. He's a guy from Udon Thani, Thailand, and he reached out to me, and we became good friends in real life. So, and he's a Thai guy. And so that made things a lot easier, okay, as far as like solo travel goes, because then now basically where I go I have some acquaintances or some kind of connection, usually just because there always is somewhere. I don't check before I go though, because I'm still operating on the same principle of like, I'm not going to make my travels be dependent on anyone but me, because I'm the only person who knows what I want to do and is 100% devoted and committed to that. I've told you guys I have the spirit of the explorer. I have the spirit of Ferdinand Magellan, of Christopher Columbus. I'm the same kind of guy, so it doesn't really matter to me whether or not other people are coming. If they're coming, yeah, more on board. Let's do it, baby. This is gonna be fucking awesome. But I don't need it. I like it, but I don't need it. So, because I got the spirit of the explorer. I was born with the spirit of the explorer. So that's why I just go to new places. And when I go to new places, like when I go to new countries, when I go to new cities within different countries, because I like to, this is my passion, guys, is this traveling and learning the new places, learning the culture of each new city, of each new island, of each new country, of each new nation, of each new continent. This is what I like to do. I like to go there and observe. I like to put myself into their lifestyle. I don't like to live the tourist lifestyle, the foreigner lifestyle, or the Western lifestyle when I'm there. I live like them. I eat their food. I spend time around them outside during the day because they're outside, which is another reason why I'm usually around the poor people. in those especially in third world countries, is because poor people spend time outside. Okay, and I like in America, no one's on the streets, no one's on the sidewalks. That's really boring and it's really depressing. But in third world countries, people are always out in the streets. They're always out on the sidewalks. They're always trying to sell things to each other. That's like a very common thing to be doing. There's always people outside, and so I spend time around those people, and I really get a good feeling of what makes these people tick. What is their culture? What is it they do? What is it like to live like them? What is it like to be those guys and to be living like them? And I always find positives and negatives in each one that I go and visit, each city, each country, each nation, each culture, whatever. And there's always positives and negatives. And I always try to learn lessons from the negatives and then take my positives from the positives. And then apply those positives from that culture in my life. And because there's wisdom in each culture that other cultures don't have. So this is really fun. And if I know that if I was depending on someone else to give me permission to do it, to go to different cities, to go to different countries, to go to different continents and stuff, that it wouldn't happen. So I need to be the person that's in charge of making that happen. And if I'm always waiting for a friend or somebody to say okay, yeah, I'm ready, I'll go with you, I know that that's not gonna happen. I'm not gonna be able to live my lifestyle. So but it's also exciting to me because I like going to new places by myself. It's really exciting to me, actually. I'll tell you exactly what it's like is when I pop down in a new city, I get there and I go from the airport and I get usually an Uber to my apartment, and I've usually rented an apartment on Airbnb, and it's ready for me. So I get there, I go there, and then I immediately start trying to find a girlfriend. Because that's the gateway to the city. That's the key to the city, Once you got that local girlfriend, man, it's they're gonna show you all kinds of things about the culture, that are freaking awesome. And you can't get it any other way because they're gonna be your liaison. And also to the other men in the culture, especially if you can't speak the language, that girl is gonna be your olive branch that allows you to interact with them more, right? And yeah, that's what I do. So I get to the new country or the new city, whatever, I get to my new apartment, and it takes me about 2 to 3 weeks, usually on the longer end, about 3 weeks in each new place that I get to start to feel really comfortable and to start enjoying where I'm at. It doesn't matter how cool the place is that I go to, it takes me a good 2 to 3 weeks to actually start feeling I'm comfortable, I've got my space, and I'm living my world now. Not I'm going into their world and I'm seeing how it's supposed to be, right? Because that's the first couple of weeks is you go into their world and you're oh shit, and you're not comfortable yet, and you're trying to react to things. But then after 2 or 3 weeks, I'm not trying to do that anymore. I'm this is me as usual, and this is my territory. And I act the way that I act, right? Then I'm myself again. It takes about 2 or 3 weeks. But it's really fun. And during those 2 or 3 weeks, I'm outside a lot. I'm with the local people, and I'm learning about them, learning about their body language and their facial expressions and stuff, how to read them better, because that's one of the things that makes you really comfortable when you're in a new place, or that makes you comfortable in any place really. When you go to places that are not what you're used to, and you're trying to look at how others are acting and then reacting to it, then I'm never on my game. I'm never living life the way that I want to be living it. I'm always living life the way that I want to be living it. Once I've got comfortable and I'm no longer in their territory and trying to react to them, but instead I feel okay, I got my territory. Here I am among you. And this is the way I am, take it or leave it. That's what happens after 2 to 3 weeks in a new place. And I love solo traveling. I love traveling by myself. I love making new friends when I get there. But there's definitely a difference too, between going someplace with someone the safe way, and then not. You know, like going by yourself and being like forced into these situations where it's like you're plopped down in the middle of a foreign country, the middle of a foreign city that you've never been to, with no one who looks like you. There's not a fucking soul that looks like you. And so it's like you are the odd man out. You are the black sheep. And every time you know, you go outside, you know, you feel that you are different. But and then you start to like make your way in that culture or make your way in that community. And you know, as time goes by, you know, the people on the street, they be, you know, at first when they see you, they're like, what the fuck is this guy doing here? You know, like, what is he doing here? Why is he here? Because that's a lot of the times when I go to like poor places, poor cities or whatever, a lot of times the people who are working on the streets, like selling food and stuff, they'll, yeah, the first few times that they see me or they see that I live there now, and I'm like walking out my apartment down their street every day, that you'll just see them looking at me like, what the fuck is this guy doing here? You know, because they think I would want to be in America, because that's what they dream about, like must be like the greatest, right? Where everyone wants to be. And so they're like, why? Why would he be here? And then, so that's their instant curiosity in me. And then as time goes by, of course I'm curious about them. I've already explained why I'm curious about them. So it's like as time goes by, you know, I start interacting with them. I start buying their food, and I like their food obviously too, because I'm always eager to try it. I want to try their food. I want to like it. So then when they see me liking their food, they're like, wow, he likes our food. And then they're talking with their friends like, do you see that? Foreigners like our food. And then they're proud because they think, you know, everyone wants to be an American. Everyone wants to go to America. So if I, an American, like their food, that's like something to be really proud about. And then they'll talk to their friends about it. Like, the foreigner likes our food. It's fucking awesome. And then you know, I'll play with them. You know, I'll flirt with some of the girls a little bit in a very playful way, because a lot of girls in third world countries, they just want to do that. You know, so they'll kind of like present themselves, like do this or something, like to their friend and be like her. It's on the sidewalk when they'll be like maybe selling fried chicken. You know, and the two girls at the fried chicken cart. And when they see so they're like presenting their friend like, you need a girlfriend? You need a girlfriend? Like, or like, are you married? Do you have wife? So stuff like that. And then you know, as time goes on, the people, you know, on the streets, you know, they start to see me and become comfortable with me. And you know, then it's like I'm always like this. You know, like you guys see my personality from watching the videos, so. My personality is pretty distinct, and I'd say it's a fairly strong personality. So I'm kind of like a character. So when I come like back to my street at night or whatever, you know, to get to my apartment, to buy my dinner or something from the people who are cooking food on the streets, it's like there comes that you know, white boy, Westerner character coming down the road again. And it's like I'm always ready to play. I'm always ready to play whatever game it is, you know. I'll be, you know, during the day I will have been practicing their language a little bit, you know, trying to learn some extra words. You know, I'll be in a good mood. And so, you know, I'll try to say a few of their words to them too, which always makes them feel cool again, because it's like, oh, the foreigner is, you know, maybe they would feel like someone from the US has a higher status than them. But I put myself down on their level. I do this to everyone, okay? The side note, this is how I treat everybody on planet Earth, okay? Who deserves respect, which is the vast majority of people. And that is that it doesn't matter if they're a higher status or a lower status than me. I treat them like fucking human beings, like exactly the same, okay? I don't kiss anyone's ass who's a higher status than me. And I don't treat people like shit who are a lower status than me. I treat everyone exactly the same. I also don't treat beautiful girls like with any special treatment, because what have they done for me? The only thing they do is like look good. And yeah, they did that for themselves, not for me. So why would I be like giving them special favors and treating them nice? Like this goes in like all aspects of my life. So yeah, people who have things that maybe I want, I'm not gonna kiss their fucking ass. Or like somebody who has like some kind of access to resources that I want, or is famous or something. I'm not gonna kiss their ass. They're just another freaking person. And then that also influences the way that I act with these people who are lower status in a third world country. They're not lower status to me. They're fucking awesome. I love those people. And anyways, I treat them the exact same way that I treat anyone else. That I treat a CEO of a company. I treat the same, the fried chicken cart seller, on the street at midnight. I treat them the same way that I treat a freaking CEO of a business in America. And yeah, like they become comfortable, and like we make a relationship over time. So me and the people in the new country, the people, even though we can't communicate a lot, like if I don't speak their language fully or whatever, or if I just speak a little bit, we can still like have this really awesome relationship where it's like we're trying. And like so much communication is nonverbal. That's something that I've really, really improved on. Like, and especially living in third world countries, is I'm so sensitive to like micro facial expressions now. So like when people's facial muscles twitch, and like you can't hide your intentions from me anymore, because I've been exposed to people or living around people who don't share my language for so long that my nonverbal communication and reading of nonverbal communication skills have like skyrocketed out of necessity. So it's like, if you feel some way, I'm gonna know why when you talk to me, because I'll be watching your facial muscles, and they do certain things that I recognize patterns where I can tell what you really think and stuff like that. That's from living in other cultures for extended periods of time. Because I had to have those skills, knowing what they thought, reading their facial expressions and stuff without knowing the words that they were saying. So I had to build that skill. So now it's weird talking to other people who do speak English, because I can read them now in this way that it's not the way it was before. Which is cool. That's a quality that I like. I'm glad that I have that quality now. It really benefits my life. So anyways, guys, solo travel. I'm going to cut this video off now because it's going up on 30 minutes, but solo travel is a great thing. If you're scared to do it, just do it. Like basically just buy a plane ticket, so that then when the time comes, you're either going to have to forfeit the plane ticket or freaking go to the airport. So, I'm serious, do it. And yeah, like your first time can be like 2 or 3 weeks or something. First time you want to travel alone, and then it's like if you get there and you're feeling like, because it usually takes me 2 or 3 weeks to start feeling good, and you're like, this sucks, it's only 2 or 3 weeks, you're not gonna die, you're gonna make it, so you can go back home sooner or later. So solo travel is very beneficial, and I encourage you to do it, and I encourage you to take control of your life and to not wait for other people to give you permission or let you do things that you want to do in life. You gotta just take control of your life, and when you want to do something, you gotta do it. Like you gotta look at your life like a book, like a story. And this is what I do. I look at my book like a story, and it's like I know what the hero does in my story, which is me. I'm the hero in my story, and I know what he does, and I basically like live my life like that. Like I know what the next step is. I know what Dan the bodybuilder in Thailand is going to do next. What kind of things he's got on his mind, what kind of goals he's going to do, what kind of things his story is going to be filled with. And so like I'm doing those, right? I'm making sure that those things happen, right? Solo travel. Dan the bodybuilder from Thailand.